Hi ICG friends, we had a slight glitch with the recording and then I lost my voice, which was quite funny, but we are going to have a quick run through of the talk that we had the first time in our Lunch and Learn. I was joined by Dan from Shared Research and Barbara from Brick Amsterdam. They obviously won't be joining me today, but I'll be showing a little clip from Dan at the very end. So I'm going to quickly run through what AddMaple is, who I am, and then we're going to do some live coding with AI. And before I jump in, I think it's just important for me to point out that I am coming from a user research background. So AddMaple is not built like some other tools out there that are designed to do everything for you, leaving you somewhat outside of the process. AddMaple works alongside the researcher. It automates things that can be automated. For example, if you have numeric data, you can automate the detection of the value and then how to create the bins for those, for argument's sake, salary buckets, and then creating that histogram. Or if you have multiple choice responses where people can tick all that apply boxes, same. AddMaple detects that it is a multi-select question, so there's no need for you to go and identify each of those selections, create another column with true or false for those selections. So that kind of thing is done by automation. This frees you up so that you can go on and interpret the data. We also help automate some of the qual, but this is not where you just let the AI do all the tagging for you, leaving you without a means of working with the AI. Rather, it is an iterative process following reflexive thematic analysis. More than ever, the researcher's interpretation is going to be so valuable, and all we want to do is free you up so that you have more time to find the story and to craft the story in a way that resonates with your clients rather than doing bits and pieces that could be automated. So let's get to it. AddMaple is about enjoyable data analysis for you, the researcher, but also with explorable reports for your clients so that your clients too can enjoy interacting with the data. So what problem are we trying to solve? As far as senior executives are concerned though, 73% said that they felt that data skills are harder to learn than other business skills, and 67% said that they are not comfortable with accessing the data themselves because, Excel can be overwritten. You can accidentally corrupt a formula. 53% said that they believe that they are too old to learn new data skills. So what we're trying to do is equip people right from the senior executives right through to people who are just starting out with their careers so that they dive into data with you, dear researcher, at that facilitation level, making it all happen for them. In 2024, 43% of Fortune 1000 data execs reported that their organization had a data culture. Only 48% said that they were data-driven. It is difficult to be data-led, and we see a huge jump from 2023 to 2024, and this is largely driven by AI. 99% of those same data executives said that we need safeguards and guardrails for governing AI. And only 51% said that they have people in place to ensure that this is the case. With AddMaple, we've built this quite carefully. You could use AddMaple to its full with the use of AI and without. And even when you, for example, use AI to help you with bulk tagging of, say, 10,000 plus records of a survey open-ended column, that column will be the only data point that AddMaple has access to via its AI connection. Now, who are we modeling this after? Dr. Edith Widder. She is responsible for the only footage of a giant rare squid, and the reason she managed to capture this wasn't just because of her determination, but because she built tools for exploration. And in particular, this jelly that she created mimicked the behavior of specific jellyfish to attract that giant squid in the first place so that it could be captured on film, which we saw on Animal Planet. And ultimately, the big problem is that data analysis is tedious. There's a lot of time spent in the beginning of the process, making sense of the data, cleaning the data, preparing it for analysis, counting, sorting by type, developing those initial pivot tables, and then there's a little time at the end to actually explore that data and make sense of it and interpret it and write your story. And we want to switch it around whereby there's far more time left for the part that the researcher brings, finding those stories that an AI can never do in your place, and crafting the story in a way that the humans who need those insights are able to understand and latch onto, so that that learning is passed on. And I'm going to dive in now, but this is in essence, you have columns and rows that you need to clean and format, and oftentimes you have to split where there's a multi-select. This is one of those tricky multi-select questions where people could select all that apply. This is done in 1 second, where every single column in your data set is turned into a pivot table or a pivot chart. You've got access to the chart here, but you can flick to the table, and this is done for you, and here you have your related columns. So let's dive in, shall we? So when you open AddMaple, this is what you'll be welcomed with. You'll see different columns being pulled in automatically, and in this instance it's 0.09 seconds, much faster than 1 second, and we've got 1,456 rows of data. In this instance it is reviews that people have written, and we have 47 columns. So Google has given us a few, and we've added a few of our sentiment columns in, but this is what you would have typically been welcomed with. Each of these represent a different data type. So this is a numeric column, this is clearly a date column, this is a grouped Likert chart. So in Google reviews, people could have given a star for the food, the service, the atmosphere, and we can add numbers to the chart. So we can see that overall 70.9% of people gave the food itself a 5-star, and 14.3 gave the food a 4-star rating, and 68.2 gave service a 5-star, and 15.7% of people gave service a 4-star. And then when we look at atmosphere, we can see that they have slightly more neutral, with 9.7% people giving it a neutral rating for atmosphere of a 3, and then a 2 and a 1, and then we've got a slightly smaller bucket here of 5 stars compared to the other categories, with a bigger bucket here for the 4-star. So I didn't have to do anything. AddMaple does this for you. So I'm excited to introduce you to this aspect of what we can do as an industry, because you're able to do high-level topic analysis for themes, but then you're also able to go into greater detail. So we've done some sentiment analysis, which is something you can do in AddMaple, whereby you can first of all analyze for general high level themes, and then analyze the themes for sentiment. So in this case, we worked with the AI, and we also coded for portion size, because this was mentioned quite a lot. We coded for atmosphere, service, and food quality is what you can get from Google, and then price. So you can be really specific, and then we ran it through sentiment analysis. So I would say you're doing well with your food quality. So let's add in the combined average. Your food quality is above average, your service is above average, positive. But in terms of atmosphere, that's slightly below average, the combined average for all of these. This is an output of the thematic analysis tool that we're going to look at now. And we even said to the AI, help us pull out specific foods that were mentioned. So we have here, mussels mentioned, pasta mentioned, ragu, desserts, focaccia, ricotta, and we've got here the combined average. So these dishes that people mentioned, and people in the reviews might not type the complete dish name, but the AI is clever enough to be able to pull out where someone mentioned something related to food, and it did this, and then we ran it through sentiment analysis. So we will be able to tell this restaurant owner that these dishes are performing very well with regards to their sentiment ratings, and then to perhaps look at the dishes involving potatoes. Why don't we do some coding? why don't we do some coding? If you're interested, we've got this multi-model sentiment analysis, so you can see the spread of how the different sentiment models coded for sentiment. But let's do some coding. The text column is here. I've coded it before, but I'm going to bin all of this. And now this time round, I'm going to ask a different research question. The research question I want to analyze this time is by atmosphere. So please give me codes to understand what people thought about the atmosphere in the restaurant, like lighting, music, seating, tables, anything related to the building or environment. And let's let it run. Now what's going to happen? It's going to look at our text records and it's going to suggest specific codes for the research question that we asked. So it's given us these: lighting, music, seating comfort, table arrangement, building aesthetics, cozy atmosphere, noisy environment, modern decor, ambient temperature, crowded space, open kitchen experience. We could just let it run. Let's apply codes with AI. Let's let it code multiple tags in case people mentioned more than one aspect at the respondent level or review level in this instance, and now it's going to run. We've got 1,456 records. It won't be too long, but you don't have to wait. You can go and explore something else. So we could explore, for example, what else is related to the number of reviews people gave, because there are 12 columns linked. We turned the star ratings into sentiment, whereby we interpreted a 1 and a 2 as negative and a 3 as neutral, 4, 5 positive. So let's look at that. So we can see that those who've given more reviews were more towards the positive with 86% of people, and those who gave fewer had slightly more negative here with 18.5%, and there's a slight relationship. Our codes have been applied. We've got crowded space, noisy environment, cozy atmosphere, open kitchen experience. So let's view text records, and you can see here that this is not in English. This record here, it did apply a code. The reason why these don't have codes is likely due to the fact that it didn't mention anything related to atmosphere. But let's copy this, and so this is the translation. It's detected that it's Japanese. I made a reservation and visited. It was full and very crowded. We ordered kale, salad, mussels, and so forth. And the AI has tagged crowded space, open kitchen experience, building aesthetics, some of the best Brussels sprouts I've ever had. Everything was yummy and inventive. The music is kind of the perfect volume, so it's tagged here for music. So first off, food incredible. On the flip side, service was a bit slow, fully booked. My biggest problem with the restaurant is the fact that the ambience is awful. It's crowded space, but by that I mean that the tables were very close to one another, so it's tagged for table arrangement, and it gets loud, noisy environment. So this gives you an understanding of how the AI is able to take something abstract, which is tell me about the restaurant, how it's able to take something abstract and code for that. Now, as a child, I was always told that you judge a place by its toilet. So people did actually mention toilet. So what we could do here is we could add in, since people mentioned it, toilet. And now I'm going to go back to the detail view. I'll bin this filter here, but we've added toilet, and I'm going to now say to the AI, I'll just make sure that this is, and I'm going to now say to the AI, apply this new code for me, please, because I've just added an additional code that I think was missing. And it's now going to look at all those records row by row, and it's going to tag for me. So did it find any? Oh, it's still applying the codes. But just like before, it is going to read and respond row by row. So this is much more of a iterative process where you tag, you suggest codes, it suggests codes, it tags in bulk, you add yours, you rename and resort and group them differently. It's nearly there. I'm going to let it run just so that you see just how fast it is though. And when you're working with an AI research partner like this, and when you ask it to code for something specific, like we just did, it won't code your other records that don't mention that specific thing, because that would be pointless. So it will look at your research question and go and find those records for you. So how many? Okay, there were 12 records that it found. Okay, so if you want to see those specifically, click on that blue bar to apply a filter. Let's go to the table view, and here we see the restaurant is packed, the walkways are narrow, you're right next to other tables. And so if you're going to the toilet, it takes you a while to squeeze past them. Now this is interesting, it had crowded space, but I don't think the word crowded is mentioned. The restaurant is packed, the walkways are narrow. So the AI doesn't need a specific word to be mentioned. The food was absolutely amazing. I do not believe they have an accessible bathroom or baby changing tables. I gave it the code toilet. This person mentioned bathroom, but because we're dealing with a foundation model, it understands that bathroom is a toilet. Superb menu. Downstairs loo needs cleaning more often to avoid blah, blah, blah. Here again, the gents' loo seat was broken. There's no mention of the actual word toilet, but it understands because we're working with the foundation model. And let's look at this one where we have 3 codes. We have crowded space, noise environment, and toilet. Arrived at the restaurant, it's manic and cramped. Dinners and staff colliding, tables too close. So here we have the cramped aspect again, which was coded as crowded space. Tables too close together. Poor acoustics, noisy environment. It understands that poor acoustics has to do with noise, meaning everyone has to shout. So this is how you can work with an AI research partner to code records in bulk, but then to refine them. And here we've got the different filters. So we've got this one applied, but we could select all. And here you've got all your records. Once again, you can see that it has coded for us. In other languages, we've got cozy atmosphere here. So let's add this. So this is in Korean. It's already my second visit. It seems a bit pricey, but the atmosphere is nice and it's delicious. I think ragu pasta suits my taste best, the brown crab, da-da-da-da. But this person mentioned it's already my second visit. It seems pricey, but the atmosphere is nice and it's delicious. So it has interpreted that as cozy atmosphere. You're able to, with foundation models, last I checked, you're able to analyze text in over 80 languages. Here's another such example. Let's copy this. So this is Spanish plus. The place is beautiful. Building aesthetics. Let me now pull Dan up. Let's find Dan, shall we?
Hello, I'm Dan from Shed Research. So we specialise in helping organisations make more of the research that they already have. So that could be synthesizing existing data, re-looking again at past raw data, triangulating everything that a business knows about a particular topic. I have used AddMaple twice in the past couple of months. I think it's a great tool. It's helped me do two things. One is get really, really fast insights. So I got a lightning read on some data, turning some raw data into charts really, really quickly with some simple pivots and filters. Everything was very, very intuitive. The second thing it's helped me do is get some really, really large insights. I had a data set of around 40,000 survey responses over 3 years. Several questions were open-ended, too many really to code manually in any cost-effective way. I used AddMaple's AI tool for the coding. It needed a bit of back and forth to understand how the OpenAI ChatGPT AI method model platform was working, but I got really, really good value from it, and it's something that I couldn't have done as quickly or as well if I didn't have the tool. And actually the going back and forth, understanding how the coding was working, gave me real confidence in the AI and that it wasn't hallucinating in what it was producing. So I think AddMapple is a really, really brilliant tool. I think it's different from others that are available in the market in that it doesn't put a limit on the number of credits or the amount of inputs that you use. So you buy your subscription, you use it as much as you want. There's no limit beyond that. So I'm a big fan of AddMapple, and I wish Ange all the best with it.